online format worked or not worked for you?
The online format has been great actually because with Logic especially, it's a computer program and I'm screen sharing with Paul the whole time, and if I can't, like, he's like, oh, click this, and then I'll like make the circle and it's like the whole menu and stuff. And then he can also take like control of it too. So if I'm really struggling, he's like, well, here, let me just do whatever complex thing.
Right, because you can screen share and then you give him permission, like he can basically go into your screen and like
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, and then also it lets you like mark up the screen too. It'll always like circle things for me to like open up whatever menus and things.
Right. My students are a little less music production based because I'm
Mhm.
not as masterful as Paul, but that is just talking to people who have really been enjoying the virtual lessons. A lot of them are into music production and they're like, it's actually better because the whole thing is just like the computer is such like the focal point, like we need it to do
Mhm.
what we're doing and we don't really need to be sitting in a room. It's actually better to just be like, here's my literal screen, I'm sharing it to you, talk me
Yeah,
through this.
exactly. I can't imagine how it would work in person because the flow is like so natural when I'm on Zoom. He can like do all the arrows and the little markings and it's just so clear, and he can like see everything. It's really perfect.
That's awesome. I am so happy to hear that because, you know, online, not everything works in the online situation, but
Yeah, I know.
there definitely are some pluses, and especially for people that are into music production like
Mhm.
yourself, I think it's a great opportunity to have lesson in a different way and maybe even a better way.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, school did not work at all online, but this is like the format for it online.
Yeah, yes. What got you into music production in the first place?
Well, my dad's a composer for like documentaries and things, so like my whole life I've been around music and instruments, and then also him working on Logic and like creating all these soundtracks that like you can go and watch in movies, and I thought that was so cool. And then also it's just fun. It's it's so much fun to be able to hop on the computer and like make all these crazy tracks that also I wouldn't necessarily be able to do because I don't know like every instrument under the sun, but on Logic I have the keyboard and I can play whatever I want.
Right, so you're doing like MIDI based off the keyboard and then you're like picking different sounds and stuff from the library.
Yeah, it's like a really huge mixture. Like when before I started doing the lessons, I was like, okay, I can play things on the piano, and then there's like some loop library, and that was like my full understanding of it. But then Paul was like, no, there's all these other instruments, and I can play all the different instruments with the keyboard, and then also some of them have like these wild presets where I'll like hit one button and it'll start like strumming some really cool tune, and I'm like, this is like the software's just amazing, and I didn't like really see all the possibilities until Paul started walking me through everything.
Yeah. I know it's interesting with like electronic music. I think I'll listen to it sometimes and I'll be like, holy moly, like they're playing these crazy lines, like
Yeah.
shredding, and then you find out it's like a synth that like, yeah, you just press a button and it goes like
Yeah.
whatever. You're like, oh, okay, I could put that in my song too. I don't have to
Yeah.
be able to play it perfectly or like I think it's so cool to have the technology that allows us, maybe if we're not like extremely technically proficient, we can
Mhm.
still get our ideas out into the world. Like,
Exactly.
um, me too. Like I play piano, but I'm not like a virtuosic player. So
Mhm.
sometimes I'll hear something and I just like can't quite cut it. But like with the MIDI and the quantizing and the
Yeah,
whatever, I
exactly.
can do whatever I want. And that's a real kind of freedom to have.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I can't play like the guitar or like the bass or anything like that, but I've got all these sweet, guitar melodies and like the bass line, and it's all just from the program.
Yeah, I love playing bass lines on the piano and then like picking
Yeah.
a cool bass sound. I'm like, I
Oh,
love
it's awesome. It pulls
that.
it all together too. I never realized how much the bass line can pull everything together until it was like I would
Yeah,
have a song and then Paul was like, well, if we use this bass sound, and you can mess around with that. And I was like, it's like 10 times better just from having like this subtle little difference.
I know. I know. It's like you can have a song without guitar, without piano, or like whatever, but you can't have a song without bass.
You need the bass, yeah.
But I know it's fun to like get into finding, yeah, sample packs and like, audio versus MIDI and like drum kits and whatever and all these, I'm recently also just like discovering the vastness of it all. And it
I
is
know.
pretty cool to just be able to hear something in your head, just be you on the computer and be putting it together, and then oh,
Mhm.
I have a track all of a sudden. Like I didn't realize I could do that, but alas, we can.
Yeah, I know. It's such a versatile program and it's so vast too. So, and then Paul's like, he's like my guide, I guess. He's like guiding me through all
Yes.
these, like, oh, there's also this. And I'm like, what? You know, and there's like this whole
Whoa.
other function that I didn't even know about. It's crazy.
He's like your wise teacher, just leading you
Exactly.
down the path.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. I'm so glad that you have him as a teacher because yeah, that's just it's great. It's great that you get to do all the things that you want to do and realize that they're not so like out of reach. I think
Exactly, yeah.
yeah.
It seemed like such a like mountainous task to try and learn
Yep.
how to use this like crazy program that can do like all these different things and like can make film soundtracks. And I was like, I don't think I'll ever be able to understand
Like,
this.
I
But
can't do
now,
that.
yeah,
Oh, sure
exactly.
they
But
can.
now I'm getting it. Yeah, exactly.
I love that. That's amazing. We're almost out of time, so do you have any last things you'd like to say or
You know, it's just been such a fun experience, which I wasn't expecting, you know, because on paper, learning like all these like maybe like hundreds, I don't even know, but like all of these features, so many features, it's like just seems like a lot of work and like such a chore to do. But then, you know, Paul, he manages to make it so much fun. You know, we're laughing the whole time. We're just like it feels like we're just hanging out. But then I walk away knowing how to do like four other things I didn't even know existed every week.
that's great. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and telling us all about you and what you've been doing. We'd love to hear it. We love to hear that it's a good, experience because yeah, that's the goal, obviously.
Yeah.
So, Aiden, thank you so much for coming and chatting, and it was really great to meet you. And best of luck making your music and your films and going into this next chapter of life. It's going to be great.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's been really fun.
Good,
Uh,
good. I'm glad. Okay, I will talk to you later. Have an awesome
yeah.
day.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.